Julianne, now you are an adult. How do you cope with social occasions like parties and weddings and things like that?
There's been some amazing weddings and parties and networking events that I've been to. One of them, do you know Henley Regatta?
Yes.
So I went there, I think it was last year, and I was honestly terrified to go. I'd been invited by a couple of people that we work with, and I was thinking, there's no way this is going to be safe for me to eat. I called them up and I said, look, can you cater? And they said, no, there's no way we can cater for your allergies at all. However, they did give me a solution, and they allowed me to bring my own food. I know not everyone loves this, but I still wanted to go. I wanted to be in that atmosphere, because I don't believe that you can't enjoy something if you just can't eat, for example. You can still enjoy it to the best of your ability. And so they allowed me to bring my own food, but what they did for me is they plated it all there. So they made it look amazing, and they did it in a separate area so that it was completely safe. And so it didn't look any different in terms of when I was served with everyone else. Everyone else was like, oh, your food looks nicer than mine. It was actually it was quite nice to experience that, and no one really questioned that it was because I had allergies, because the way they did it was very inclusive, even though they couldn't serve me the food that they had made. So I think there are ways. Weddings for me, one of my best friends got married, and she completely had a nut-free, sesame-free wedding, which was great. Her mum also has allergies too, so I think it all depends on who the guests are and how many of you do have allergies as to what catering teams you get. I myself always wanted to get married abroad. So we did a destination wedding, and everyone said to me, there's no way you're going to be able to do that and cater. I had an amazing planner, and she helped me speak. We chose a boutique hotel, and we spoke to the catering teams, everything, because I had a lot of different people that I had at my wedding that had allergies, and they did everything. Like, they literally catered for everyone. It was beautiful. You couldn't taste the difference. They used our own products as well, of course, but yeah, so it can be done, but I would say there is always a caveat. Speaking directly to chefs and catering teams is a must where possible. Checking ingredient lists before, even if you have to go like at an event and say, look, I just want to see the packaging. Don't feel that you can't, because so many people say that to me, is like, oh no, you can't ask that. And it's like, well, it's your life, you can ask that. I don't think it's too much to ask. I can understand if you're asking the secret recipe. You don't need to know the percentages, you just need to know what's in the food. Then in terms of the bad experiences that I've had is, for example, at a food event that I was actually speaking at, I went there and they told me there wouldn't be any nuts like out. They said obviously there would be products with nuts in, but they would be packaged and they wouldn't be like on the tables, etc. However, when I arrived, I don't really eat at events like this because I just want to be really safe. So I just take like one of our own snacks or something like that. And so I went to the event, I arrived, everything seemed fine. And I shook hands with a few people. And then suddenly started coming up like with this like stuff around my like mouth area, and my voice went really, really hoarse. Like my voice completely changed, and I'd not experienced that specific symptom before. And so I went to the toilet and I was like, look, I look fine still, because I once you grow up with allergies, you kind of know when you're having an allergy. It's not always the same, and this is the kind of information I want to portray in this story, is it can change the way your reaction develops. So don't not take it seriously, because I didn't take it seriously that day, and I thought it was just fine. I thought, oh, I could take some Piriton or Benadryl or something like that, antihistamine, and it would bring it down. I was very wrong. I hadn't eaten anything, so I assumed that nothing was wrong. It was actually, so anyway, they said, oh, if it's an allergy, just walk down the road. We don't have anyone on site, which I found really odd as well. They don't have a first aider on site. They asked me to walk down the road to the pharmacy, and so I walked down the road, but I started to like feel really dizzy and lightheaded. I then couldn't breathe. I felt really weak. I felt really like cold. And I didn't know what was happening. And I reached the pharmacy, and he was literally, the pharmacist, as soon as he saw me, he called an ambulance, gave me my EpiPen, and was like, no. And then they confirmed in the ambulance that it's anaphylaxis. So I would just, and what it was too was people there were nuts all over the tables, and people had eaten nuts. That's the only thing it could be. Like I hadn't eaten anything since the night before, so that's all they could confirm that it was.
And that's really bad when you've been told there's no nuts out, and then that's happened. That's really quite out of order, really.
And I've never had it from like just shaking someone's hand. Like I've always had to eat it. So that what was shocking to me, I think.
Yeah, I think people don't realise how sometimes an allergen can be absorbed through the skin, particularly if it's with oils from nuts. But there have been cases of people kissing, haven't there? And they've had an anaphylactic reaction from something that their partner ate hours and hours ago, yet they've still had a reaction. So yeah, we do need to be aware of that sort of thing happening. Thank you, Julianne Ponan MBE, for joining me for Food Allergy Friends Spotlight on Allergies.